The French Revolution. It's the first chapter of history in class 9th. It's the first part of our series of videos. French society during the late 18th century. 1774, Louis XVI of the Bourbon family of kings ascended the throne of France. Under Louis XVI, France helped America in gaining their independence from Britain. France was experiencing financial instability due to long years of wars fought by her and the cost of maintaining an extra court at the Palace of Versailles. Taxes were increased for meeting the expenses of maintaining an army, the court, and the running government offices or universities. Division of French society. French society was divided into three estates. First estate was known as clergy, second estate was known as nobilities, third estate was consists of big businessmen, merchants, court officials, lawyers, peasants, artisans, small peasants, landless labor, servants, etc. The first two estates enjoyed certain privileges by birth which also excluded them from paying any taxes to the French government. The member of the third estate had to pay taxes to the estate that include a direct tax called tille and a number of indirect taxes levied on the articles of daily consumption. Peasants served in the field and the houses of the privileged classes, and they also built the roads and served in the army. The church collected tax known as tithes from the peasants. The price of the food grain increased with an increase in the demand for the same. Fixed wage workers could not afford the expensive food grains, hence the gap between the poor and the rich widened. Growing middle class. 18th century France witnessed the emergence of social groups and the middle class who earned through an expanding overseas trade and from the manufacture of goods such as woolen and silk textiles. Philosophers such as John Locke, Jean-Jacques Rousseau envisaged a society based on freedom and equal laws and opportunities for all. Locke refused the doctrine of the divine and the absolute rights of the monarch. Rousseau proposed a form of government based on a social contract between people and their representatives. Montesquieu proposed a division of power within the government between the legislature, the executive, and the judiciary. The outbreak of the revolution is the most important part in this French Revolution chapter. The Estates General was a political body which had the representatives of all three estates. 5 May 1789, Louis XVI called an assembly of the Estates General for passing proposal for the new taxes. The first and the second estate sent 300 representatives each, and the third estate had 600 members. The member of the third estate demanded that the voting must be conducted by the assembly as a whole, where each member would have one vote. 20th June 1789, the third estate declared them as the National Assembly and swore to draft a constitution for the France that would limit the power of the monarch. Mirabeau and the Bastille led the third estate. 14th July 1789, the fortress prison of Bastille was destroyed by the crowd, protesting against the increasing prices of essential commodities. Rumors spread saying that the manor had hired bands of brigands who would destroy their rice crops. Peasants in several districts attacked Jesuits with hoes and pitchforks. A large number of nobles fled from their homes and migrated to neighboring countries. Louis XVI finally recognized the National Assembly and agreed that the constitution will check his power thereafter. 4 August 1789, the National Assembly was abolished the feudal privileges and taxes. Members of the clergy were also forced to give up their privileges. Tithes were abolished and lands owned by church was confiscated.